Hey guys, I'm Kendra.
Hi, I'm Mercedes, and this week we're talking about a wonderful Greek musical, Mamma Mia.
Mama Mia. But of course, Mercedes, we have to kick it off with our celebrity crush of the week. Who you crushing on this week, girl?
Oh my gosh, so mine is kind of random. I'm crushing on this comedian slash YouTuber, Noel Miller.
Hmm.
He has a podcast. He's mainly known for his podcast, Tiny Meat Gang, and his YouTube channel. And I don't know, I was just like listening to the pod before bed, and he has one of those voices that like he could do audio for the Calm app, like a bedtime story, and I'd be like
Ah.
so down. And you might like see him and you're like, okay. But then you hear his voice and you're like, I get it.
Okay, I have a question for you because I actually just saw a TikTok about this. This guy was saying it was a prompt. He's like, ladies, is it true that women are actually attracted to a guy because of their voice? And I
Totally.
went crazy. So I'm curious for you, who is that one person that you just want them to hold you and read you a story because their voice is just so amazing and they're okay, I shouldn't say that word. Who's that person that you just love the sound of their voice?
Oh my God. I don't even know if I could like pinpoint specific voices, but I think like his is definitely up there,
Yeah.
high on my list, because he just has like a very just like deep, like just great voice. I don't know. Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
have somebody in mind?
Oh yeah, I have multiple people.
Tell me, tell me.
When I think about voice, I mean like I said, I want you to just read me a story. I want you to be constantly
Yeah.
talking to me. Henning Mai, the lead singer of Anna My Contra, who I've talked about on this podcast before,
Yeah.
his voice, I just want it in my ear all the time. And then the next one is Killian Murphy. But like Killian Murphy, yeah, as himself, but specifically as Thomas Shelby from Peaky Blinders. Because his Birmingham accent, the way that he talks like this, like a little bit. And I'm just I love it. I love it. And the new season just came out. Love it. So I don't have the Calm app, but I heard that he did a story on it. So what I did, and I hope I don't get arrested for this, I went on the Calm app, I recorded his episode, I listened to it all the time on my phone.
Most people, what they do is they'll make a download of it and put it to Spotify. Because I did that with Harry Styles' bedtime story. Sorry, calm out, but I have
Yeah.
a whole different link that I use for
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Oh, that's so funny. Voices, voices, voices. Okay,
Mhm.
so funny, speaking of Killian Murphy, my celebrity crush of the week should be him, but it's not. It's actually Sam Neill, and it's because he has taken up my entire week. First of all, Sam Neill is 74 years old. Let me just
Wait, what?
Daniel 74. He has taken up my entire week. So the series, like the last series season of Peaky Blinders came out, and I was watching all the past episodes to catch up, and he was in the first two seasons. And then I went to go see Jurassic World with my brother, and it's been 30 years since the first Jurassic Park, and that
Yeah.
man has aged very well. I'm just saying. He's like a white stallion, and I'm over here like, hey Sam,
Oh
hey,
my
how's it
God.
going?
70s.
70s, I
Is that your
know.
oldest crush?
I think that has been my oldest crush. Well, yes, that
Yeah.
has been my oldest crush. I think so. Yeah, Sam Neill, congratulations, you hold the record. All right, guys, we're gonna move over to the TLDR. We just like to recap the movie for anyone who has not seen it. Warning: there are spoilers ahead. If you have not seen Mamma Mia, it's currently
Go
streaming.
again.
Mama, it's so good. You can stream it on Peacock, is what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious, what would you do if you're 20 years old, you're about to get married, and the only thing you want is for your father to walk you down the aisle? This is what Sophie, played by Amanda Seyfried, asks herself as she prepares for her big day. The thing is, Sophie has absolutely no idea who her father is. She was born in Greece to a single mother, Donna, played by Meryl Streep. Upon finding her mother's diary around the time she was born, Sophie decides to send a letter inviting three potential men that could be her father. And guess what? They literally all show up right to the island. And it's just so funny. It's just as Sophie planned. But let me reiterate that that's exactly what Sophie planned. And Donna has absolutely no idea and no knowledge of it. Throughout the film, we get to know Sam, played by Pierce Brosnan, Bill, played by Stellan Skarsgård, and Harry, played by Colin Firth, and a little about their love stories with Donna. When Donna finds out all three men are on the island, she naturally freaks out, but her two best friends are right there supporting her. Somehow, Sophie manages to have all three men offer to walk her down the aisle.
Mhm.
This upsets her fiance when he believes the whole reason for the wedding was so Sophie could meet her father, and she didn't even bother telling him. The day of the wedding, though, is just a total fiasco. Donna reveals she still has no idea who Sophie's father is, which is okay because all three men decide that they want to be a part of Sophie's life, which was so sweet. Sophie and her fiance end up not getting married. But why waste a good wedding? Sam professes his 20-year love for Donna, and they end up getting married, and everyone pretty much lives happily ever after. Oh, and did I mention this entire film is set to songs by the popular Swedish group ABBA?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is a 2008 film written by Katherine Johnson, who also wrote Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, which is the sequel to this.
Mhm.
And it's directed by Phyllida Lloyd, who also directed The Iron Lady, also starring Meryl Streep.
Ooh.
I know, I know. I like when directors and actors collaborate a lot because it means that they have a good working relationship.
Yes. Oh, I do. I like that too.
I like it. I like it. What are some fun facts you got for me, Mercedes?
Okay, so did you know this is
Mm.
one of the highest grossing films directed by a woman, and more specifically, one of the highest grossing films directed by a gay woman?
Really?
Yes, and in by 2018, I think it was the number 2 highest grossing movie musical, but then all of the, like, new Disney releases, live action have kinda, like, m moved that a little bit, but isn't that
Mhm.
insane? For 10 years, it was
I
number
know.
2.
You know what's so funny? I read this fact that this movie became the highest grossing movie in December of 2008 in the UK, ahead of Titanic and Avatar, but Avatar hadn't come out for us anyways yet at
Yeah.
that point. But it was like, can you imagine? This movie made more money than Titanic. Everyone saw Titanic. I saw Titanic in theaters. Like I was like 5 or 6. And I saw it. Everyone saw Titanic. And I still hadn't seen this movie, so it was very I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising for a movie musical
Mhm.
that, like, it just made so much money.
Exactly.
Apparently, did you hear that all the actors there was, like, a little behind the scenes with, like, the DVD, I guess, and this went viral on TikTok last summer, that all the actors were actually drunk while filming. One of the producers talked about it, and he
What?
said the whole cast would drink ouzo, this Greek liquor, throughout the day of filming, and that's why they were just, like, so just, like, free and just dancing around, laughing the whole time, so
That makes sense, honestly, Mercedes, because I watched this and I'm like, no one has a care in the world.
yeah,
No one in
exactly.
this movie has any care in the world whatsoever. And I think it's so funny too because Pierce Brosnan, when he signed on, he had no idea what the movie was about. The producers
Oh
told
my
him
god.
that it took place in Greece and it was starring Meryl Streep, and he was like, "I will literally act in anything starring Meryl Streep," because he had such a big crush on her, especially in, like, drama school. Isn't that so funny?
I love that. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
and he, like, truly cannot carry a tune, but it just
Oh,
made it so much funnier, you know?
and it's just yeah, the cast had all performed all their own singing, all of them, even
Yeah.
Colin Firth, and I was like, "Okay, Colin, I'll see
Oh,
you."
oh my god, my heart belongs to Colin Firth.
It does, absolutely. All right, guys, we're gonna move over to time capsule. We just like to recap where we were when we watched this film, which thank goodness Mercedes I actually remember where it was because I just watched this movie for the first time this past Monday. What is wrong with me?
Oh my goodness, and you love
I
musicals.
love musicals. But the thing is, the second this movie came out, I added it to my watch list. I have had this very extensive watch list I've kept on IMDb since I was probably 14 years old.
Oh
And I
my
remember because
goodness.
my username is still Film Starlet, that was like I started using that at like 14.
Oh.
I know. But it has like it has almost 800 movies in it.
I love
And so
that.
the second this movie came out, I added it to my watch list. And it's been what 12 14 years since it came out, have not
14.
it's crazy. So I watched it this past Monday, and I felt bad because you were absolutely right. I love musicals, and I loved it, and I will learn all the songs, and I will learn all the dances, and I will play it on repeat. So that's where I was. Well, where were you?
I was in middle school the first time I saw it. I definitely
Mhm,
didn't see it in theaters. I think I waited till it was on TV, but I was
mhm.
12 when it came out. And I just remember loving it. And just like, I'll watch it anytime it's on TV. I'll watch it like anytime I like just need like a feel good movie. And
Mhm.
like, I love singing. My friends and I love to finale our karaoke sessions with ABBA. So I like love watching Mamma Mia and the second one too, even though it's kind of Doesn't make any sense, which is okay.
I have not seen the second one. I mean, I just watched the first one. So
But it's amazing.
I'm working my way up the franchise. But I'm curious, what else were you doing that year in 2008?
So this was the summer after 6th grade, and I was just awkward and 12. Like, can remember exactly who I had a crush on, and it was the same boy I had I told a story about listening to Teardrops on my guitar in our 27 Dresses episode, just, like,
Yeah.
listening to it so many times. So, like, anytime I listen to that, I think of just my 12-year-old little crush. And it's just so weird. It was one of those where he was like a sweet boy in 6th grade, and then in 7th grade, you're like, "You're mean now. Like, what happened? Why are you so annoying and rude?"
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Mercedes. It's crazy that you said that because in 2008, I had a crush on a guy named Taylor Turner. And I remember I would listen to Taylor Swift's I'd Lie all the time. Cause you know that part where she's like,
Oh
he
my
never told me
god.
he could play guitar. I think he can
Yes.
see through everything with my heart. First thought when I wake up is my God is
First thought
beautiful.
when I wake up is,
Is
"Oh
my
my
God
god,
is beautiful.
beautiful." So
So
put
put
on
on
my
my makeup. Pray for a mirror. Like that was I used to like literally always that was his anthem. Every time I saw him, that song would play in my head. So that's really funny that you also had a Taylor Swift crush song. But
I
he
love
drove
that song. That's a deep cut.
it's a deep cut. He drove a gray truck and we'd hang out in the halls all the time. And he was so nice to me. I remember Mercedes, I did not have the best time in high school. Kids were just very mean to me. And especially guys. So the fact that like Taylor was really nice to me and we'd walk to class together and stuff like that. It was a huge deal for me and I just really appreciate him for that. We lost touch and I'm pretty sure he's not straight now. And that makes sense because I am literally only attracted to gay men. And I think it's because they're nice to me and they ask me questions about myself.
Yeah,
So
kind, non-threatening.
kind, non-threatening,
They'll be
very
your
approachable.
friend. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, guys, it's time for the Rom-Com Hall of Fame. But of course, Mercedes, we gotta roast this movie. Tell me, what do you feel like doesn't age well?
So this movie, I only have like one major roast because it is just so lighthearted and it's so
Mhm.
self-aware of itself, like it's just like for fun. But
Yeah.
my main thing is I just think the whole idea of wanting to get married at 20, even if it's like a plot or like some type of ploy to like try to figure out who your father is, it's pretty absurd to me. I'm glad Sophie decides to just travel and be in love and take her time a bit more because 20 is just so young.
20 is very, very young. Um,
Yeah.
I was trying to decide if this is like PC to say because I'm not trying to shame anyone, but I do find it just very like the whole storyline of not knowing who the father of your child is I don't know, it's just pretty cringe to me, but also too like she Donna has that line where she talks about how her mother was like, if you're pregnant, don't bother coming home. Like not
Yeah.
letting your kid come home because they're pregnant is even more cringe than that.
Hmm.
And I also feel like
Definitely.
too, just as someone who travels a lot, I was watching this movie, I was like, no one in this movie is actually Greek.
No.
It's like Greece is just like a place, has absolutely nothing to do with the story. Even the songs are by a Swedish group. Like and
They
like
act as if, like, Donna, like, discovered the island.
yeah, exactly. Donna's the Christopher Columbus of this island in Greece.
Oh.
And it's like Sophie was born and raised in Greece, so why doesn't she have a Greek accent? Like who is
Yeah.
she?
Yeah, it makes 0 sense. The
It makes
accents in this movie, all over the place.
all over the place. Like, where's everyone from? Oh my gosh. Tell me what is Sorry, I can't stop laughing. I was like, what is this? Oh, okay, get it together, Kendra. Listeners, tell me what your favorite quote was.
My favorite quote is, "I don't care if you slept with hundreds of men. You're my mom. I love you so much." Because it's just
Mhm.
so funny. And the reaction from the priest and just, like, everyone there is just like, "No." "What?"
Oh my god, no. I love you don't need a father, you have a family, and you'll never and then she said, "And you'll never leave me," right? He's like, "Are you kidding? You have turned my world upside down." I just love that song that her and Sky sing because 'cause they're so
Yes.
cute. They're very cute.
They are
Just a
sweet.
very cute couple. So, gotta ask you, Mercedes, if this movie popped up on your Tinder feed, would you swipe left or would you swipe right?
I'm swiping right 100%. This movie is just for joy and fun, and it makes me wanna run away to Greece and wear overalls. It's the only
Yes.
movie that convinces me overalls are good. And I just love how, like, self-aware this movie is, and, like, it's over
Mhm,
the top, and it's kind of nonsense, and it's cheesy, but it's just
mhm.
really ultimately about, like, the emotional lives of a mother and daughter, and above all else, it's a mother and daughter story, and it's made such an impact on pop culture. Like, think of all the trends on TikTok, like, you hear these audios, you hear like, these versions of the ABBA songs,
Yep.
and I just, like, love the range of relationships here. We get to see the mother and daughter dynamics. We get to see these women with these awesome lifelong friendships, and we get to
Mhm.
see new love, and we also see lost love come back and be
Yeah.
found again. And it just celebrates these really imperfect women and shows love coming into your life at different ages, and it doesn't create any taboo or shame around that because there's love for everyone. And I just love seeing these actors have fun. Like, you can really see it, you know? Like, they're really having a blast, and, I mean, Meryl is just the perfect Donna. I wanna be here for Halloween one year.
That's so funny. Mercedes, I think you are one of the most insightful people I've ever met.
Oh
You
my
just
god.
you
That's
point
so
out things
kind.
that, like, I feel like no one else notices or no one sees, especially me anyways. And I just like, even just talking about how this movie shows so many different dynamics of relationships, like, that's so insightful. You're so smart, Mercedes.
Thank you, that's so sweet.
Thanks for being my co-host, girl.
Aw.
I just have to say, I could never swipe left on a musical. It would hurt my heart just way too much. It would kill my soul.
Mm,
I we also don't have like a ton of international rom-coms that we've done, and so I love that
true.
the setting of this movie is in Greece, and like everyone is so carefree and doesn't seem to actually have a worry about life. And that honestly sounds so nice right now because I feel like I have a lot of worries about life, and I want to drink
Same.
that Greek liquor and just dance around and jump on a bed and
Yes.
feather boas. Like, come on now.
Pass the ouzo.
All right, guys, we're gonna move over to couples therapy. Mercedes and I just like to give advice for the couples on how they can improve their relationship because we are professionals. If you did not know that, we are professional relationship
Yeah,
therapists.
exactly.
I just feel like I hope Donna stops trying to run from her problems, hide them, or even sweep them under the rug. Especially being married, she's gonna have to learn how to communicate properly in order for it to work. And I
Mhm.
know probably better than anyone, when you have been alone in life for so long, it can be really difficult to learn how to share your life with someone. But it is also such a beautiful thing if you open yourself in that way and you're vulnerable in that way to like walk through life with someone. Like, that's my biggest desire right now. And I just see it as such a beautiful thing. So I want that for Donna.
Aw. I love that. Yeah, my advice for Donna is similar. I'd say to just remember that you can be an independent woman and also want romance. I
Yeah.
love that this movie really celebrates her independence and also celebrates her accepting romantic love into her life again.
Mhm.
Because I mean,
Absolutely.
you can have it all.
Yes, but also too, Mercedes, you can be independent and ask for help. Like,
Yeah.
those 2 are not at war with each other. Like, you can
Mhm.
be an independent person, and still need help, right? And I feel like
Yeah.
that's the message I try to convey on my TikTok. When I talk about being a late bloomer, I have been I've had this thought recently that, like, I don't necessarily take it as a compliment when people say that, I'm strong and independent because it feels like it's just very dismissive of, like, my basic needs. When I'm like, "Hey, I
Yeah.
would like love." "Oh, what do you need love for? You're strong and independent." "Well, I need help." "What do you need help for? You're strong and independent." Like, the 2 can exist at the same time, you know?
Exactly. And strength doesn't ever have to be like a constant. You're like, I can be strong and I'm also very soft.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's
Yeah.
hard to be just, like, on it all the time. It gets really
Mhm.
exhausting. So,
Totally.
yeah, just wanna normalize that, guys. You can
Yeah.
be strong and independent and also desire help. And I feel like for Sophie, honestly, I'm over here like, "Girl, go travel. Go
Yes.
freaking travel. Go travel the world. Go to places you've never even thought you would go. Go to countries you've never heard of. Go on adventures, explore, find yourself. Do all of that. It is so fun."
Yeah, I have the same exact advice for Sophie. I just say, get off that small island and really just like learn more about the world. And through that, you'll learn way more about yourself and just have so much fun because you're
Yep.
20.
Yep, exactly. I this is my this is my year of travel. For by the end of the year, I will have spent 10 of the 12 months traveling to a different country.
I love
And
that. I
and
love it.
I want that for Sophie. I want that for Sophie so badly.
Yes.
What do you think their love language is?
Okay, so this was kind of hard for me, so I kind of made a love language just for the whole movie, and I'm gonna say that it's words of affirmation because it's a musical. So
Yeah.
they're singing their feelings.
Hmm.
And it all started with Sophie finding her mom's journal
Hmm.
and then sending invites to potential dads. So all of these are different forms of words and just different communication styles in
Yeah,
word form. So I'm gonna say
absolutely.
that.
Okay, no, that works. That works. I feel like this was hard for me too because sometimes you can't tell in musicals, right?
Yeah.
Especially like a musical like this where all of like there are iconic songs and the lyrics are very specific.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Donna's love language is physical touch for obvious reasons. But I can also see her really needing acts of service. And like I said before, she talks about how hard it is to run the hotel by herself and do everything on her own. And I just feel like she could really use acts of service. And then for
Yeah.
Sophie, I feel like she gives quality time and she likes to spend one-on-one time with each of her potential dads, which I think is really cool. I think she needs that back too, especially since she has been lacking a father figure her whole life. Like she could really use quality time back. So that's my 2 cents.
That's really no, that's super insightful because I didn't even think about, like, the impact of, like, hanging out with her dads
Mm,
or I in that like, on the scene on the boat where it's just, like, a montage of her spending time with them.
yeah,
That's so true.
yeah, it's really nice. I think it's really nice.
Wow.
But of course we gotta ask, okay, so we have Donna and Sam, right? And then we have, Sophie and Sky. Do you think either of these couples last in 5 years?
Well, there is a sequel, and without spoiling anything, I'm gonna
Oh.
say yes. Even though the sequel has a ton of plot holes and the timeline doesn't really make sense, I'm gonna say they last because,
Mhm.
Aphrodite's fountain, they were all dancing in it. Like, that love water's on them.
Ooh, okay, so I have not seen the sequel. Like I said, working my way up through the franchise. But I would say for Donna and Sam, I'll say yes. And then for Sophie and Sky, I don't think so.
They're
I
so young.
they're so young, but also he talks about giving up so much of his life for Sophie, and it was clear that he was holding resentment towards her just by the way that it came out, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like they need to learn how to communicate so resentment doesn't build up, but they're also just, yeah, so young. I mean, anything can happen really. So I'm
Mhm.
not holding my breath, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. Okay, guys, it's time for Heartthrob. We just want to talk about who we would bring home to our friends and our family. And I have to say, Mercedes, we were talking at the top of this about Colin Firth, and I don't want to say too much because I freaking love that man. So Harry would be my heartthrob. He's who I would take to meet my friends and get their approval. And I think it's too, like I said, I'm only attracted to gay men. So I would freak him home. But apparently Colin Firth is currently single.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Well, he was
That
married for,
sparked
like
something in me. Wow.
I know,
I
he
don't
was
know
married
why.
for a really long time. He was married for, like, 22 years or something like that, and they separated.
Oh,
Like,
whoa.
I know, it makes me really sad, but also like, "Hey, Colin, slide my DMs."
For real. Oh my god, I completely agree. Harry is my favorite. Colin Firth is the perfect man.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
even
yes.
though, like, his role's so small and, like, really silly, you can just tell he's, like, loving it. Like,
I
he
know.
even in the credit dancing,
Yeah.
oh my god. Like, seeing him in that, like, jumpsuit dancing around, I'm like,
Mhm.
"Yes, this man understands."
Love it. We are going to play Marry, Smooch, Ghost. You have to tell me who you'd marry, who you'd smooch, and who would you ghost. We have the 3 dads, Sam, Harry, and Bill.
I feel like in honor of Donna, I can't ghost anybody.
Mm.
Or else, in another way, I have to ghost everybody.
Oh,
Like, I
okay.
smooch everyone, I ghost everyone in the name of Donna. But I
Interesting.
think I would marry Harry,
Mhm.
even though he's gay in
Mhm.
this, but Colin Firth. And then I would smooch, Sam, and then I'd probably ghost Bill. You know what I
See,
mean?
I do know what you mean, but I feel like this depends on what world we're in, right? So
It's very hard, yeah.
it's very hard. So if we are in this musical world where we're constantly singing to each other, I'm gonna marry Harry, I'm gonna smooch Sam, and I'm gonna ghost Bill. And that's because like Sam, his voice is just it's not the one or the two. But if we're in regular life, I think I'd marry Sam and smooch Harry and Still Ghost Bill. Love Stellan Skarsgård, but I'm so much more attracted to his son, and that just won't work. That just won't. Me and Alexander are like this.
I feel like the Skarsgårds are everywhere. Like, they're always in everything.
In everything.
Yeah.
Like, I can't pull up a movie trailer and not see one of them in it, which is, I mean, good for them, but also, hello, family.
Yeah, for real.
All right, guys, we like to bring in a pop culture moment before we wrap it up. I think the thing that I found. Okay, so have you seen The Dropout on Hulu?
I started it. I haven't finished it.
Okay,
Yeah.
just confirming. Amanda Seyfried is playing Elizabeth Holmes. Yes.
Yes.
Did
It's
you
insane.
see Did you see The Inventor on HBO Max? The I've seen that documentary twice.
No.
It's about Elizabeth Holmes. It's so good. Anyone who has not seen it, go see it. Amanda Seyfried is playing Elizabeth Holmes, who was the creator of what is it called?
The
I know.
blood
Yeah,
research.
she basically creates this machine that, like, if you give a blood sample, it can detect diseases and stuff like that. It turns out Theranos. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you to our producer Lucy. She basically creates this machine where, like, if you give a blood sample, it can detect all these different diseases that you could potentially have, and then it turns out it was all a fraud and none of them worked and all of this stuff. Anyways, that is the next on my watch list. Dropout on Hulu.
Yeah. Her voice, the way she does Elizabeth Holmes' voice is
Mhm.
gnarly.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does have a very specific voice.
Yeah. It's intense. So my pop culture moments are really just urging everyone to watch this musical. And please, I really have to reiterate, ignore the plot holes and just dance and have fun. Because if you really try to line it up, you're going to be like, none of this makes any sense. And then I also have a couple questions for you.
Yes, ask me away. Ask away.
So my first question is, what is your favorite song in Mamma Mia?
Oh, wow. Okay, I will say the one that I felt like dancing to the most was the very first one that Sophie is singing with her friends when she's reading her diary,
Yeah.
when she's reading Donna's diary. Um, excuse me. I did
Honey,
not
honey.
get the I did not get the name of, like, any of these songs, by the way. I just thought that one was the most fun. What was your favorite song, though?
My favorite song is Super Trooper, but my favorite ABBA song is Andante and Dante.
Which one was that?
But a Super Trooper, it's like Super Trooper, lots are gonna find you. I think they sing it. She sings it to her like at the bachelorette party.
Got it. Okay, got it. If you tell me the scene, I'm like, okay, I can remember this.
Yeah,
song.
exactly. And then if you were gonna make your own jukebox musical, what artist would you choose?
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, any artist.
Yeah, any artist. You have to use like their whole library of songs.
Oh, wow. Beyonce, 110.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Oh my gosh. Beyonce, 110. Okay, it was either that or Alicia Keys, right?
Oh, I love both of these so much.
Depends on
See,
my mood.
I've had a dream for years since I was like 20 to make a jukebox musical with Mariah Carey's songs. Like
Ah.
it's and I love Mariah Carey. Like
Yeah.
truly, like I love her so much. I'm like looking at her biography on her memoir on my bookshelf right now from here, and I'm like, oh, and I've just always dreamed of making a whole musical out of her music.
Yeah, there was a meme coming out of, sorry, my voice. Jay-Z was at a basketball game with Blue Ivy. And
Yes,
did you see
he
that?
looks just like Beyonce.
Looked
They
just
look
like
identical.
her. But
Yeah.
like everyone was like, okay, world, watch out. Blue Ivy is a preteen. Because like they're talking about how Jay-Z is this 24-time Grammy winner and he puts his arm around her and Blue Ivy's
She's
just like
so embarrassed.
She's so embarrassed. She's like, Dad, you're on my hair. Gosh, like
So relatable.
so
Yeah, she's like, Dad, God.
yeah, I know. It's like, dude, your dad is Jay-Z. Come on. But yes, Beyonce or Alicia Keys would be mine. But listeners, we want to hear about yours. We also want to hear, what do you think about this movie? Do you like musicals? Have you had every single ABBA song memorized? What do you think about the storyline with Donna, Sophie, the three dads? Let us know by sliding to our DMs at Meet Cute. Again, I'm Kendra. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Ken10Hollywood.
Yes, and I'm Mercedes. You can find me at MercedesGB11 on Twitter, IG, and TikTok. And if you're looking for new rom-coms, follow Meet Cute wherever you listen to podcasts and follow Meet Cute on socials everywhere. Bye, everybody.
We'll see you next week.